Okay. Today we'll be studying about face. Okay. In face, you'll be studying in different parts, that is muscles of the face or muscles of facial expression. This is the first part. And second is the nerve supply of the face. Okay. And blood supply. Okay. So first uh, uh, unit or first part of face is the muscles of facial expression. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. And if you don't understand anything in between, please stop me. We'll revise and repeat it again. Next, one more important point, what I would like you all to do is, please keep a paper and pen with you. If required, you please draw the muscles whichever I'm showing, and you have to repeat those names. There are 10 names which you have to remember and write. Okay? So I want all of you to concentrate, listen to the class, and if you have any questions, stop me in between, and please note down. Okay? Keep writing, otherwise you will forget this. The names are very, very difficult. We'll revise again and again, no problem. But if you are not doing it, if you're not concentrating in the class, becomes difficult to follow, right? So let's see what are the various muscles of the face. First thing what you have to remember is that the facial muscles or the muscles of facial expression are subcutaneous. Now remember that whatever muscles you are studying on the face, okay, so when you start dissecting, it starts with skin, superficial fascia. That means once we reflect the skin, just below the skin, we get the next layer, superficial fascia. Now, superficial fascia is reflected or removed. What you will see usually in rest of the areas of the body, you will see deep fascia. Deep fascia, Fascia. Okay, this is facial muscles, Facial. Facial muscles. It refers to the muscles of the face. Superficial fascia, deep fascia, Fascia. Okay, fascia is a connective tissue covering, right? So I hope you understood the difference between Facial, Fascial. Okay. So once you reflect superficial fascia, what you will see usually in rest of the areas of the body, you will see deep fascia. Okay, deep fascia is the one which covers rest of the muscles which are present below and pack them nicely, facilitates contraction and expulsion of venous blood, drainage of venous blood. But in face, we don't have deep fascia. Why? Because if deep fascia is there, if our face is packed, then what happens? First important thing. What is important thing? Opening and closure of the orifices of the face. What are the orifices of the face? Eyes, nose, mouth, ears. These are the orifices of the face. Orifice means openings. Now these openings has to be closed and opened, right? And we require that frequent movement. We are talking, we are using muscles, we are talking with our mouth, opening, closing, okay, moving in different directions. So this requires flexibility. So to have that flexibility, face doesn't have deep fascia. Okay. So what is the most important point to remember? Face does not have deep fascia. Okay. There is an exception here. Not entire face will not be devoid of deep fascia. Except at parotidomesenteric region. We have masseter muscle here and parotid gland here. Okay, so these two regions are covered by deep fascia which is in the neck, that extends into the face and covers only these two regions. Okay, parotid gland and the masseter muscle. So these two regions are covered by deep fascia, which is coming from where? From the neck region to the face. Am I clear, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
fascia is called as, this fascia which is covering the parotid gland and the masseter muscle. These muscles are called, this fascia is called as parotidomasseteric fascia. Okay, what is it called as? Parotidomasseteric fascia. M-A-S-S-E masseteric, T-R-I-C, masseteric fascia. Okay, parotidomasseteric fascia. Rest of the face does not have deep fascia. Till here, I hope you are all clear. Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's see, if there is no deep fascia, where are the muscles existing? Usually in rest of the areas, muscles are present where? Muscles are present below the deep fascia. Okay, but in the face we don't have deep fascia. So where are the muscles present? They are present just beneath the skin and superficial fascia, within the superficial fascia. So what happens is, these muscles are called as subcutaneous muscles. Okay, what do you meaning, what is the meaning of subcutaneous? Below the skin. Okay, below the skin. So these muscles are called as subcutaneous muscles. Okay, and what is the most important function of these muscles when they contract? What is the most important function is opening and closing of the orifices of the mouth. Okay, what are the byproduct of this muscle contraction? Opening and closure of the mouth, byproduct is expression. Okay, for we use muscles of facial expression, but these facial expressions are secondary functions to the opening and closure of the orifices of the mouth. Okay, so these muscles are called as facial muscles or muscles of facial expression. Okay, these are subcutaneous in function. Clear everyone? Subcutaneous in structure, right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, these muscles are subcutaneous. From where they're derived, why they are subcutaneous? Okay, these type of subcutaneous muscles, what they are called as? Subcutaneous muscles are remnants of, okay, please write down, remnants of panniculus carnosus. Okay, what is it? Panniculus carnosus. What is panniculus carnosus? If you see lower animals like buffaloes, okay, they move their skin, right? You can see flies sitting on them, they move their skin, right? So that is called as panniculus carnosus. That is, what is the meaning of panniculus carnosus? The muscles which are well developed, which are present beneath the skin. Okay, in higher animals like us humans, we don't have subcutaneous muscles which are very very well developed. Okay, these muscles are very thin, so they are not very strong as compared to lower animals. That's why we say that these muscles are slowly going off, okay, diminishing. That's why these are the remnants of panniculus carnosus. Panniculus, panniculus carnosus. Carnosus, carnosus. Okay, so remnants of panniculus carnosus, right? So all of you clear with this? What are these? These are the muscles which are called as facial muscles or muscles of facial expression. They are present below the skin, that's why they are called as subcutaneous muscles. And where they are derived from, usually if you see, derived from is embryological origin. But you just have to remember that these are the remnants of panniculus carnosus. Okay, so till here everyone are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, next, what you have to understand is that these muscles attached to the bone. Okay, attached to the bone. So that means we have this skull here. Okay, so these muscles attach at different parts of the bone and also to the skin and fascia. Okay, it doesn't have complete bony attachment. These muscles are attached to the skin and fascia. So that's why when they contract, what happens, the skin also shows various expression, various changes. So these are produced as expressions. Okay, so that's why they produce their effect by pulling the skin. So that's what you have to remember when you are talking about the muscles of the face. Okay, how do they produce effect, produce the effect of expression? By pulling the skin. How, why they can pull the skin? Because they have got a bony origin or bony attachment as well as attachment to the skin and fascia, right? I hope I'm clear, all of you. Everyone are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now they move the skin and change facial expressions to convey the mood. Okay, so we know that whenever the skin is moved, whenever there is a facial expression, we also convey our mood. Okay, anger, sympathy, pity, smiling. Okay, all this is to convey the mood, because these areas are connected for the limbic systems of the brain. So that's why whenever you have some kind of emotional changes, that can be conveyed via facial nerve to the facial muscles. Don't worry about this process, that you will study and understand later. Okay, right now just understand that we also convey our expression, our mood based on our this based on the changes. Okay, so in the face, by showing changes in the facial expression, right? So now see what is the basic shape of the face, how the basic shape of the face is present. The face basic shape is determined by the underlying bones. Okay, the bony structure is not same for everyone, it is different for different people. So what happens is, depending upon the underlying bone, your face shape is determined, right? So if, depending upon the type of the bone, the length of the bone, the width of the bone, okay, so the face shape is determined. Okay, all the muscles of the facial expression, this is the point you have to remember, all the muscles of the facial expression are supplied by seventh cranial nerve. Okay, facial nerve. Which is the seventh cranial nerve? Facial nerve. This is something which you, all of you have to remember. Can anyone tell me, have you studied anywhere where we have facial nerve supplying the muscles?
Motor nerves,
Motor nerves where?
Of scalp.
supraauricular,
Scalp, right?
temporal branch
Yes, temporal branch and
of
temporal branch and
posterior auricular branch.
yes, temporal branch and posterior auricular branch of the facial nerve are supplying the scalp, frontalis and occipital bellies, right? So if you remember that. So right now you have to connect everything. Now see, the facial nerve is supplying the muscles of the face. Also it is going to the scalp and supplying the muscles of the scalp as well. What are the muscles of the scalp? We have got muscles of the scalp, we have got frontal bellies and occipital bellies, right? So all these are the motor branches which are supplying the muscle. So for muscle to contract, we need a motor nerve. The, what is a motor nerve of the face? That is a facial nerve. Okay, now what are the muscles of facial expression, where they are present? Let us go into more details. Okay, they are present in the superficial fascia of the face, right? Already we know that they are present in the superficial fascia, inserted into the skin of the face. They are related to three main orifices of the face. Okay, this is one of the important point which you have to remember. What are the three orifices of the face? This, now please note down, because this is something which you have to remember. What are the orifices called as? Right now we are saying eyes, nose and mouth. It will not work. Okay, now it is a new name, anatomical term you have to use. What are the terms? Let us see. This is called as orbital. Okay, orbital orifice. See, orbital aperture. Okay, that means the entire bony wall you are talking about, orbital aperture. Okay, now the space gap between the eyelids. Okay, gap between the eyelids is called as palpebral fissure. Okay, what is it? Gap between the eyelids, that means upper eyelid and lower eyelid. Between these two, the space what you can see, that is what is opening and closing, right? Whenever we close our eyes, whenever we open our eyes, what is happening? The space between the two eyelids is opening and closing. So what is the gap called as? Palpebral fissure. Okay, palpebrae means what? Eyelids. Please note down that. Okay, what is the meaning of palpebrae? Eyelids. Okay, so the more the spellings and all, as we go into details, you can see that. Okay, palpebral fissure means opening. Palpebrae means eyelids. So the space present between the eyelids is called as palpebral fissure, right? Everyone clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now there is next opening. What is the next opening? Nasal aperture. Okay, aperture is a bony opening. Okay, this is called as nasal aperture. Okay, right? So whatever structure we are studying related to the nose, we call it as, you use the tag nasal. Okay, nasal muscles. Okay, nasal blood vessels, nasal nerves. Okay, like that. So nasal aperture, nasal, nasal aperture. Okay, now this is oral cavity, right? Oral cavity, right, all of you? Now, bony cavity we are looking at. But what about when it is seen with the lips? Okay, the space, the lips are called as labia. Labia. Singular is labium. Okay, labium. This upper lip is called as superior labium. Lower lip is called as inferior labium. Okay, everyone clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay, so the space between the labia is the labial aperture or labial fissure. Okay, labial fissure. Clear, all of you? So there are three openings or orifices in the face. What are the three openings? Three openings are palpebral fissure between the palpebrae. Okay, superior palpebrae, inferior palpebrae. That means upper eyelid, lower eyelid. Okay, nasal aperture, labial aperture or labial fissure. ठीक है? Everyone clear with this?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Right. Now see, what are the muscles doing? The muscles are either constricting and dilating these orifices. Okay, that means let us say oral cavity. These muscles, when they constrict, what is happening? The mouth is closed. Dilators means what? They dilate, they pull the oral cavity upwards and backwards. So what is happening? As a result, we are having an opening inside the mouth. Okay, so these are basically, there are orifices and the muscles are concentrated around the orifices. What they will do? Either they will constrict or dilate, so that when they constrict, they close the orifice, and when they dilate, they open the orifice. Okay, clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Till here, any doubts? Okay, Now let us see the what are the muscles of the face. Now these are all the big names. Okay, what we will do, we will go to directly picture. Okay, if you have a textbook, you open the textbook and see. If you don't have it, please draw. Okay, when you draw, you learn. Just draw a face. Okay, with eyes, nose, and mouth, with ears, and let us draw the muscles. Okay, what are the muscles? Usually we draw these muscles and show it to the students, but unfortunately we can't do that here. So right now I'm using the picture directly. Okay, so what you can do, you can draw and practice. So if you practice right now, you will understand that immediately here itself. So let's see one by one muscles. So first is muscle of the forehead. This is the forehead muscles. Okay, what are the muscles of the forehead? We have frontal bellies. Everyone knows this, right? Frontal bellies. This is a part of occipitofrontalis muscle of the scalp. Everyone clear with this frontal bellies?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so we write only frontalis, no occipital belly here. Okay, this is just the muscle of the forehead. We will see all the actions later on. Right now, just understand the list. Okay, list. We are writing down the list. This is the frontal bellies of the occipitofrontalis muscle, muscle of the forehead. Right? Next, muscles around the eye or muscles around the palpebral fissure. Okay, muscles around the palpebral fissure. Let's see what are the muscles. It has got first the constrictor. What is the constrictor? Constrictor means what? It closes the orifice. Closes the orifice. Which one closes the orifice? This muscle is called as orbicularis. Okay, orbicularis oculi. Okay, orbicularis means it is orbiting. Names are here, please make sure you write down, otherwise you cannot remember. Okay, so what is this orbicularis? Orbicularis means the surrounding muscle, it is orbiting around the eye. Orbicularis oculi. Oculi refers to the ocular area, means eye. So orbicularis oculi, a muscle which orbits around the eye, that's why it is called as orbicularis oculi. Right? Next muscle, what is the next muscle? See here, we can see this muscle corrugator. Okay, the spelling is here, corrugator supercilii. Okay, corrugator, that means it corrugates. Corrugates means it forms a fold. Okay, like this, whenever we do like this, what happens here? Some kind of folds are happening, right, on both sides. So that corrugation, that means narrowing down. So this is called as corrugator supercilii, above the eyebrows. Super, above cilii, eyebrows. So that's why it is called as corrugator supercilii. Okay, so what is this muscle? Corrugator supercilii. Next muscle, the third one. See here, you can see this one. On this side, we have removed this muscle so that you can see corrugator supercilii. These two muscles are reinforced with each other. And this is called as procerus. What is it called as? Procerus. You can see here, it is labeled here, Procerus, procerus. It's actually connecting the orbicularis oculi and frontal bellies and corrugator supercilii. All these three muscles are mixed up. Okay, this muscle is actually connecting all these three muscles. Okay, so what is the muscle? Procerus. Clear? So these procerus, corrugated supercilii, and frontal bellies are the dilators. Okay, dilators means what? They open the eyelid. Okay, till here everyone clear? Which is the constrictor? Orbicularis oculi. Muscles around the eyes. What are the muscles? Once again we'll revise. What are the muscles? Orbicularis oculi, which is orbiting around the eyelids. And dilators are, what are the dilators? We have frontal bellies, we have corrugator supercilii, and we have procerus. Okay, till here everyone clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now these are the muscles around the orbital fissure. Now let's take the muscles which are around the nasal cavity. Okay. The muscles which are around the nasal cavity. Please write down what are the muscles around the nasal cavity, constrictor and dilators. Please remember that. What is a constrictor? See, a muscle which is constricting the nose. Although these muscles are not so well functional, they doesn't completely close the nose. Okay, it is just pulling out the nose in front. Whenever you are angry like this, when you just point out, so that time what happens, there is a constriction around the nose. So this is caused by nasalis. You can see that here it is the nasalis, nasalis, nasalis. Okay, nasalis, right? Everyone clear nasalis?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we have, one is constrictor, the other is the dilator. Okay, which one is the dilator? It is called as the dilator nares. Okay, dilator, dilator, which I cannot show you here because that is obstructed by this muscle. Okay, dilator nares, nares, nares. Okay, dilator nares. Okay, or nares, you can say anything. Okay, dilator nares. Okay, this dilator is here. How does it do? It has two parts. Okay, what are the two parts? One is compressor nares, okay, which is causing compression, and depressor septi. Okay, compressor nares, which is joining with the nasalis to form the compression, and depressor septi depresses the septum of the nose. What is the septum of the nose? Okay, these are the ala of the nose on both sides. I hope you all can see the video. Okay, these two are called as ala of the nose. The middle portion which separates two cavities, this is called as septum, nasal septum. So what happens is it causes depression of the septum and elevation of the nasal cavities. Okay, that means when you are angry like this. Okay, so what happens is this causes depression and elevation of the ala. Okay, depressor nares. Okay, dilator nares, which contains depressor septi and compressor nares. Okay, so these are the two parts of the nose. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Sakshi, now please take the attendance and forward it to me. Sakshi is here. Okay, Sakshi is not there. Harsh, please take attendance and forward it to me. Harsh is also not here.
No, ma'am, she is not there.
Okay, someone, Divya, please forward the attendance.
Okay, ma'am, I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay, now you can see that. Okay, so what are the muscles around the nasal cavity? We had seen that one is also this procerus. Okay, procerus is a part of the muscle around the nose also. Then what else we have? We have nasalis, and this is actually a part of compressor nares as well. Compressor nares is also joining nasalis and compressor nares. Then dilator nares. Dilator nares is dilating the nasal orifice. How it is dilating the nasal orifice? By this part which is actually causing depression of the septum. Okay, that is, this part is called as depressor septi. Okay, depressor septi nasi. If you have to write full name, depressor septi nasi. And on both sides we have compressor nares. Okay, so till here all clear? We have muscles around the orbit, muscles around the nose. Clear all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let us write muscles around the oral cavity. Lot of muscles are there. This is also important portion for the students who are going for the dentist, because reconstructive surgeries requires knowing of these muscles. Plastic surgeries requires these muscles. Okay, we need to understand what muscles are in and around the oral cavity. Okay, now see here, what are the muscles? There are 10 muscles around the oral cavity. Okay, what are the muscles? Now what is the lips called as? Labium. Okay, superior labium, inferior labium. Superior labium is the upper lip and inferior labium is the lower lip. Okay, now let's see the first muscle, this one. This muscle is a part, okay, which causes elevation of upper lip as well as ala of the nose. Okay, ala of the nose. Which muscle is this? This muscle is not shown here. Same like this, levator labial superioris is there, right? So same like that, same at that area only we will see. What it causes? It causes elevation of upper lip along with the ala of the nose. Okay, ala of the nose, this is a muscle which is present along these borders, okay, on both sides of the nose. What is they doing? See, usually this fold, what you can see on both sides of the nose, you can see nasolabial fold. Okay, you can see a small fold. In some people we can see very clearly the nasolabial fold, right? So that nasolabial fold is formed by this muscle. Which muscle is this? Please write down that. Which muscle is this? What it causes? Elevation of upper lip. So it is called as levator. Levator means what? A muscle which causes elevation. What is it called as? Levator labii superioris. What is the meaning of labii superioris? Upper lip. Okay. Levator labii superioris aliqui nasi. Aliqui means what? And. Aliqui and alequi. Aliqui nasi. Nasi means nose. Okay. So what is this muscle causing? It causes elevation of upper lip along with the nasolabial fold. Along with the nose, it causes nasolabial fold formation. So this is muscle. What is this muscle called as? Levator labii superioris. Okay, aliqui nasi. Okay, once again I'm repeating it. What is this muscle called as? Levator labii superioris aliqui nasi. Okay, aliqui nasi. Levator labii superioris aliqui nasi. Clear all of you? Everyone, can you remember this?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Right. So after this, we get below this muscle. That means what we have to do, I have to remove this muscle so that I can see another muscle which is, joining along with it and bit deeper to it. What is this muscle? This muscle causes simply elevation of upper lip. So it is called as levator labii superioris. Okay, levator labii superioris. Upper lip is elevated. Clear? Levator labii superioris. What does that mean? Elevation of lip which is upper side. Okay, superioris. Clear all of you? Levator labii superioris. Then comes the next muscle. These two muscles are going to the zygomatic bone. Zygomatic bone is the cheekbones. Okay, in the skull, you can see that. These are the zygomatic bones. Okay, So these two muscles are coming from your upper lip and then going to the zygomatic bone, okay, for its attachment. So what does these two muscles are called as? Zygomaticus major, zygomaticus major, and zygomaticus minor. Okay, minor comes first and major comes next. These two muscles are there, zygomaticus minor and zygomaticus major. Okay, I hope all of you are writing. What are the muscles? Zygomaticus minor and zygomaticus major. Okay, now the last part of, yes,
Where did you say they insert and arise from?
they are inserting into the skin around the oral cavity, okay, into the upper lip, and arising from where? From the zygomatic bone, okay. So insertion moves towards the origin.
Okay.
That is the action. So they move the upper lip upwards like this, okay. Zygomaticus minor